Jack from B&T MacFarlane. Today we're going over the brand new Kubota RTV-X2C. So let's get into it. So Kubota came out with a brand new redesign of their RTV-X series. The model that this replaces is the RTV-X1100. So that was our full factory cab, heat, air conditioning, radio model. A lot of it has remained the same in this model. This is not a bad thing. The RTV-X1100 was a very good selling machine. It's extremely capable. Homeowners love them, and as well as municipalities for doing some kind of maintenance with it. It was a really, really well-equipped machine, but they actually went and made it a lot better. They made it better functionally with a new transmission in the way that you shift between gears. And then they also redesigned the body of it as well, so it looks a lot nicer. So we're going to start up at the front, work our way to the back, and then we're going to talk about some new features and then go for a test ride with it. So I will start by saying that these tires are not factory tires, but they are available tires. You'd be surprised how many RTVs we actually sell with these tires. I'll link them down below in the description if you're interested in getting a set for yourself, but they come from a company out of the States called Orange Aftermarket, so we ship them up here to Canada, install them. We personally think that if you're using this for like off-road use, some more hobby use, then it is nice to get slightly bigger tires because it increases the ground clearance, gives it more of a meaner stance, you could call it. But these are not the factory tires. We're going to go into some factory tire choices later. But if you're watching this video thinking these tires look great, it's because they are not the Kubota ones. Although the new Kubota ones, the HDMP tires, do look good too. Starting at the front, a lot of it has remained the same. You do get a brand new hood. It's a little bit more styled hood, brings it more into a 2025 era type of hood. The front though, you still have your 2-inch receiver up at the front, potential for a winch to get mounted there. And then you also have this grille guard here that protects the front. You do have LED headlights. They look a lot nicer than the other ones that we used to have. Some front attachments that can go on the front of this. Obviously you have your winch there, and then you're also able to get front snowblower, front sweeper, front blade for this machine. So when you're thinking about the RTV-X series, think of it as not so much like a side-by-side that's supposed to go fast, supposed to be fun. It's more of a workhorse first. It's actually built on a tractor platform. So it has a very similar transmission and engine to what we would see in like a B series or an LX series. It's a hydrostatic transmission, similar diesel engine with about 24 horsepower. So when you're using implements on this machine, they're going to be very strong, they're going to be very torquey. So if you're pushing snow with this, you're going to have a lot of power to either push it off sidewalks, do your driveway with it. And again, you actually have the option to run a front snowblower on it, which is something that you don't see a lot of in side-by-sides. You see that more in a tractor. So it's kind of cool that they crossed a side-by-side with a tractor, allow you to run a front snowblower. It works extremely well on this machine. Popping the hood on the front, just opens like that. You have some maintenance items here. So you have your radiator, your coolant, and then you also have your windshield washer tank. And then you have your air filter and air intake there. So just make sure that everything stays relatively dust free, because if you are trail riding this machine or running in a dusty environment on your farm, it can get pretty dirty under here. So make sure you take a leaf blower or whatever you will, come out and clean that every now and then. So now take a look at the outside of the cab. It has remained largely the same. So you have option for mirrors, lights, strobe lights, anything like that that you would have seen in the RTV-X1100, you will see in this. The one thing you probably noticed when you first turned on to the video is the color of the machine. This is their limited edition color. It is desert sand. I personally think it looks really, really nice on the RTV. Of course, you can get what Kubota has always offered. You can get a camo version, or you can get Kubota orange. Being that this is probably the most popular color choice that we've had on the XC model. Second would be the orange, and then for some people who take these machines hunting or into the bush, then the camo option is there as well. So now we're going to swing to the back and talk about some of the new bed options on the RTV-XC. So on the RTV-XC, there's a couple different bed options you can get. You can get what is a standard box, which is what you would have seen on the X1100. So that just has the spray and bed liner, hydraulic dump. They all come with that. But what they have new on this model is what they call the premium option, or a Proconvert bed is what it's called in Kubota's system. So what that allows you to do is basically flat load this. You're able to set pallets and just flat load this like you would a flat pickup truck. So you just undo those, and then this will fold down. So if you were to actually take these sides off, you would undo this little cable here, and then you would also unpin it here. These doors come completely off the sides and the back. So then you essentially just have a flatbed here. Use it like a pickup truck. You can put bales of hay down here. You could even put a skid of whatever back here with your tractor. That is a really nice feature to have on these machines. And to be honest with you, we've pretty much sold exclusively the models with the Proconvert bed. It's just really useful. The price difference is not all that significant to upgrade to this bed option. And in all honesty, it just allows for a lot more functionality with the bed of the machine. The specs on the bed are roughly the same. So you're gonna have a payload capacity of roughly about 1,200 pounds or so, which is a ton of weight for a machine of this size. So pretty much whatever you can fit inside the bed, it will lift up, unless you're obviously doing pallets of interlock, then you'll probably need to pull it with a trailer. But that's it for the bed back here. I will show the hydraulic dump. So now taking a look at the back of the RTV-X2C, you will notice they still have the standard 2-inch receiver. This is actually a different plate on the back. So this is a transmission guard. So standard from factory, that transmission is exposed. So if you do back up into something, you do risk denting and damaging the back of the machine. Again, a lot of the RTVs we sell here for a couple $100, few $100, you're able to add that plate, completely protects your transmission. The only thing you'll have to keep in mind is that if you're going to be changing your transmission filter, now you're going to have to unbolt that plate, and then you'll have access to the filter, because as it is now, you can't obviously see the filter. In terms of implements back here, there's not too much in terms of implements unless you're in a northern climate like we are here in Ottawa. You can get a rear salter for the box. So a really common setup that we see with these machines is a blade on the front and then a broadcast salter on the back. So that allows you to push snow off the sidewalks and then go around with your salter and salt a parking lot, salt sidewalks, and do whatever you will with that. So again, that's a really popular setup we have here. Obviously, you can get like aftermarket sprayers and fertilizer spreaders for the back of this as well. And then you can pull trailers with either the back or the front of the machine. So as mentioned before, the tires that are on the tan one or the XC, those are not factory available tires. They are aftermarket through Orange Aftermarket. These are going to be the brand new HDMP tires from Kubota. And again, this is what we're going to be sending out probably 99% of these machines with. They're a little bit more aggressive worksite tires. So the old HDWS tires from Kubota, they were more closer to a turf tire. So something like this, it kind of like keeps the same turf tire qualities where you can drive it across lawns, you can drive it across parks. It's not going to ruin the turf or anything like that, but it's a little bit more aggressive. I can see this being a lot more handy in snow and have a lot more traction in snow. Again, the other tire option is going to be ATV tires. So you get standard ATV tires if you do plan on taking this on the trail. There are different rim options available too. Most of them do go out with just the steel rims because when people buy these, they're workhorses. But you can get aluminum alloy wheels, so make it look a little bit nicer. The alloy wheels do look a little kind of nice with the tan model because you get the premium cab, you get the premium bed, and then obviously you could get the premium tires, make it look like a really nice machine. But again, steel HDMP tires, that's what most people are going to be getting with these RTVs. So we have the same engine on this as we did on the X1100C. Again, not a bad thing. So it's going to be a 24 horsepower Kubota diesel engine. Since it sits below that 26 horsepower, you don't have to worry about DPF or any emissions regulations. But they did go ahead and make some changes to the transmission. We're going to do a ride along and I'll show you what kind of that means. But they made it a lot easier to shift between the ranges. So if you remember on the old RTV, shifting between high and low was a bit of a pain, but I'll show you that when we ride along. But that is going to be the major change in terms of the powertrain, because since it's a hydrostatic transmission, it's not going to be like some other high performance side-by-sides where they're run off of belts and gears and stuff like that. It's basically a tractor that allows you to sit side by side with somebody and use it as a side-by-side. So it's a really kind of workhorse utility vehicle first. Again, engine, they did not change anything in terms of this top speed. So the top speed on these is roughly 40 kilometers an hour. So previously, when you were shifting from high to low, back to reverse, there was a little bit of kind of grinding in the gears. It was like a tractor. When you're stopped, it's tough to go into low. Sometimes it's tough to go into reverse, but you can see here, like you can fly through the ranges pretty easily. So we'll go forward, and then you can immediately stop. go neutral, reverse, straight into reverse, where on the older model, that would have been pretty challenging. And then they also added a relief as well. So when you're going into high range forward like this, and then if you stop, if you hold the brakes, the pressure gets released from the transmission, and then you're back being able to go into reverse. And then same idea, brake, release pressure, high range, forward. And then they also really improved it on hills as well, because that was one thing that would happen a lot on the old model, is when you were driving with it, you would be, or if you want to go change gears and you're parked on a downslope like that, it would be really, really tough to go from high to reverse to low range. But since they updated this transmission, the way it shifts, the way you can relieve the pressure with the brakes, makes it really, really easy to do that. So that's where we're going to end today's video. I'm really happy with how the RTV-X2C has turned out. They've made a lot of good improvements on this machine. The biggest one especially being that transmission. If you've ever driven the X1100, definitely go down to your local dealership, check out the XC, drive it around, shift from high to low to reverse. You'll see an immediate difference with it. It is night and day, honestly. And if you need help with parts, sales, or service, give us a call at 613-225-0555. And as always, thank you for watching.